He was never supposed to be the guy. No lightning-quick first step, no viral highlights, and certainly no flashy self-promotion. Yet Nikola Jokić has become the NBA's biggest enigma, an unassuming giant who leaves opposing teams in shambles. Without breaking a sweat, how did this soft-spoken player from Serbia manage to flip the league on its head and force the basketball world to admit he might be the best in the game? Strap in, because what you're about to discover goes way beyond just stats on a scoreboard. Nikola Jokić didn't arrive in the NBA with the hype of a top 5 draft pick or the media circus that follows the next big thing. In fact, when he was drafted in 2014, most fans barely noticed. Some might even recall that during the televised draft coverage, they ran a commercial instead of giving his selection a spotlight. That's how low on the radar he was. But for the Denver Nuggets, it was an entirely different story. Their scouting department had dug into every corner of international basketball. They saw flashes of brilliance in Jokić, a big man who could pass like a guard, read the game like a seasoned veteran, and deliver pinpoint passes even under pressure. What they didn't see was the unstoppable force he'd eventually become. The bat. Some teammates marveled at his vision, describing his passes as telepathic. But in those early days, nobody expected him to outshine established stars around the league. Jokić was simply the nice new kid who sometimes threw behind the back passes. Quietly though, he kept stacking double-doubles, learning from his mistakes, and absorbing every piece of coaching like a sponge. Most NBA fans missed these warning signs of greatness. If you weren't a devoted Nuggets follower, you likely didn't. Realize that by his second season, he was already the cornerstone of Denver's future. Yet even as he rose, he rarely demanded attention off the court. No over-the-top tweets, no glitzy parties, just a young man showing up day after day, quietly mastering the craft of basketball. And that humbleness would only make his eventual takeover that much more shocking. But that was only the beginning. The unassuming rookie with a soft shot and softer voice had more than a few surprises up his sleeve, and once he unleashed them, the entire league would stand back and ask, how did we not see this coming? The NBA has always been about athletic freaks and highlight reels. Players like LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Zion Williamson intimidate with rim-rattling dunks and bursts of speed that defy nature. Yet somehow he can pick apart a defense more efficiently than almost anyone else in the league. He plays at a near slow motion pace, meandering from one end of the floor to the other like he's out for a leisurely stroll. And then, when the defense least expects it, he fires a pass across the court that hits a teammate right in stride for an easy bucket. It's a style that leaves coaches ripping up game plans because there's no blueprint to contain a center who thinks like a point guard. Traditional big men typically dominate with raw power or elite athleticism. Jokić relies on angles, timing, and an uncanny sense of anticipation. He'll fake a pass to the corner, freeze the defense, then zip the ball inside for a layup. Or he'll run a pick and roll and deliver a one-handed bounce pass through traffic, making it look effortless. Teams throw double teams at him, but he's already 3 steps ahead. They swarm him in the paint, and he kicks it out to an open shooter before the help even arrives. Fans used to wonder, why isn't he more aggressive? Then they realized Jokic's version of aggression is controlling every inch of the court, dictating who touches the ball, when they get it, and how the defensive scheme unravels in real time. The result is mesmerizing and often humiliating for opponents. Even the mightiest shot blockers look clueless against his footwork, while quick defenders can't stop him from lofting up a feathery hook shot. The big question quickly became, could defenders ever figure him out? But that was only scratching the surface of what really made him unstoppable, because behind every masterful assist and lethal post move, there was a series of controversies and conflicts that gave fans a deeper look into Nikola Jokic's competitive edge. For a long time, Jokić seemed too mild-mannered to ever stir up drama. He rarely bickered with referees, hardly engaged in trash talk, and managed to stay clear of locker room feuds. Yet, if you thought he had no fire in him, the Markieff Morris incident in 2021 would change your mind. During a heated matchup, Morris delivered a hard foul that Jokić saw as a cheap shot. In an uncharacteristic outburst, Jokić retaliated with a forceful shove to Morris's back, sending the veteran forward. to the floor. The clip of Morris lying there circulated everywhere, and Jokić was instantly labeled as dirty by some critics. But Nuggets fans defended him, saying Morris provoked the incident. The fallout fueled debates on sports talk shows, with arguments about who crossed the line first. Rumors swirled about potential fines and whether the league was biased against physical play. The controversy dragged on for weeks, overshadowing the fact that Jokić had been dropping triple-doubles almost nightly. Some speculated it was a sign of hidden aggression, pointing to his brothers, known for their fiery attitudes at courtside games. And then there was the persistent rumor about whether Jokić gets preferential treatment from officials because he's a star. Fans love a conspiracy, and whenever he got calls in his favor, Twitter exploded. Yet, ironically, Jokić often seems more frustrated than pampered. He's had his share of technical fouls for arguing calls, a habit that he's tried to curb over the years. But even these moments of conflict only added layers to his mystique. He was no longer just the quiet playmaker. He was a competitor who, if poked enough, would push back. Literally, the shift in public perception was striking. Some applauded his toughness, while others labeled him a villain. But these controversies did more than generate headlines. They revealed a fierce competitor behind the gentle exterior, a man who was dead set on proving that he, not some hype machine, deserved the MVP crown. And yet, even with all that intensity boiling over, his off-court persona couldn't be more different. Here's the odd part. Jokic's personal life is about as calm as a sleepy Sunday afternoon. Instead of big city nightlife or flashy endorsement deals, he spends off seasons back in Serbia, often at horse stables. He's talked about his love for horses, even calling them his best friends, a stark contrast to the typical glamorous lifestyle of other NBA megastars. Some fans believe this laid-back approach is exactly why he's so good. He doesn't burn out on never-ending appearances or Instagram showboating. Others suspect he might be so engrossed in equestrian hobbies that he could lose focus on basketball. But if you watch him run Denver's offense, that rumor barely holds water. Word around the league is that Jokic's approach to training is meticulous. Quietly, he invests countless hours refining his body, limiting junk food, and working with Denver's performance staff to maximize longevity. Yes, the jokes about his dad bod were once widespread, but those close to the franchise hint that he's become increasingly disciplined with every passing season. Still, the off-court rumors persist. Does he really spend more time watching horse races than game film? Is he truly uninterested in the fame that comes with back-to-back MVP awards? The truth, they say, lies in how he commands the game when it matters most. For Jokić, any talk about lacking commitment evaporates the moment he steps onto the hardwood, and despite that quiet lifestyle, his dominance kept escalating. No one was prepared for how high that ceiling might go, or that a supposedly non-athletic giant could scale it with ease. It wasn't just that Nikola Jokić came into the NBA with unusual passing for a center. It was that he never stopped adding to his repertoire. Early on, critics clamored for him to become a more reliable outside shooter. Then, as if on cue, he developed a deadly three-point shot. He worked on his footwork, making it borderline impossible to defend him in the post. And he refined a fadeaway reminiscent of Dirk Nowitzki, off one leg, with a high release that no defender could truly contest. Each season introduced a new layer. One year, he realized he could weaponize the mid-range jumper if defenders backed, off to guard against the pass. Another season, he mastered controlling the pace so thoroughly that entire games seemed to be played at Jokic speed. Coaches around the league tried fronting him with smaller defenders or throwing quick double teams. As soon as he caught the ball, Jokic responded by dribbling less, passing sooner, or simply shooting over the top. The Denver Nuggets learned quickly that having an MVP big man doesn't automatically guarantee playoff success. Injuries, roster chemistry, and tough Western Conference opponents all threatened to derail the team. Rumors began to swirl about. Front office move. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more videos.